back to Boris's Coffee Morning. I think it's our fourth coffee morning now. Not sure where the time's gone exactly. For those of you that haven't joined us before or need introductions, my name's James Squires. I'm the Enterprise Sales and Accounts Manager here at Boris.
My name is Shatu. I'm the Sales and Account Manager within Boris Software. Thank you very much for joining us once again today, and hopefully we'll go through the topics which will be in your benefits.
Great. So as we say, welcome to the fourth coffee morning. Thank you for your support so far. It's been absolutely fantastic. In fact, some of the attendances that we've had to the coffee morning have been absolutely stunning. And in fact, for those of you who have been part of the coffee mornings before, you'll notice there's a slight change going on today. First of all, we're stood up. We've had some support and investment back from the directors, which was directly as a thank you to the support that you've provided and the value that you seem to be getting from these sessions. So we have in front of us, which we'll show you via a second camera at some point today, we have a touchscreen table in front of us, which makes us feel as though we're straight out of a Sky Sports studio. We've got secondary cameras and secondary microphones all around. We have had a little practice at this. We've been able to practice with this setup for the last 24 hours or so. So please bear with us if there's any technical problems. So far, the biggest challenge we've had is actually managing to sort of level us up at the right height. Because if anybody knows myself and Shatu, you'll know that I'm 6 foot God knows how much, and Shatu's 5 foot something. So she's on a stage at the moment. Hopefully she's not going to move about too much, but just to go into the format of today then, what are we going to do? So today's session's going to be an hour again, running from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock, so it'll be the standard format. We're going to be looking at 2 modules within the system today, and hopefully that's going to be of interest to you. We're going to be looking at the asset module, and we're going to be looking at the tracking module. Now we'll be breaking down different subjects within those modules, but those are the 2 modules we'll be looking at. As per usual, we absolutely encourage your feedback and your comments. So you will, for those of you watching on YouTube, you will know that you can actually add a comment to YouTube. We have Michelle and Carl monitoring YouTube for us this morning, and at the end of each section we will answer the questions that have come through, or the questions that we've got time for. We'll also be providing a feedback form at the end of the session, and again, we'd really encourage you to complete that. That helps us build the content for the day. Shatu, can you drop us onto the agenda and let's discuss what we've got going on today. So, just a little bit more detail. Do you want to walk us through it, Shatu?
Thank you very much, James. So thank you very much once again for joining us today. So to take you through today's agenda, we'll be going through 3 different topics. The main topic is your asset management system, where we'll be going through 2 different examples, one for hardware and one for stock. However, as we've previously discussed, the asset management software can be used for any required installations or product that you may own as a business. Our second topic, we'll be going through GPS tracking, where we'll be going through vehicle tracking and operative tracking, where you're able to track and monitor and traceability of your operatives on site. Final topic, we'll be going through fleet management, which hopefully will give you a big surprise, and James will be able to go through more details on that for you.
That's great, Shatu. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so I suppose we need to jump straight into it. We've got quite a lot to go through today. So first thing we're going to jump into is the asset system. So if you bear with us while we switch the technology, hopefully now what you should see on your screen is the back of house dashboard that you're all so familiar with, but you also should be able to see me in a separate camera here now as well, which is a little disconcerting, I've got to say, but so we'll be focusing in both directions. But hopefully, guys, what you should be able to see, and please let us know if the technology doesn't show this, but you should be able to see the back of house system that we have here. Now, let me just give you a quick overview as to how we use the asset system and the benefits to it. So we have many clients that are currently using the asset system, and they're currently using the asset system fantastically to manage their fire doors, to manage any roadside assets, in fact tools and hire tools around the business. And what we wanted to do was give you a flavour of what just some of the clients are doing at the moment, and in fact actually what we ourselves are doing here at Boris. So let me just explain to you then how we could manage assets in different ways. Well, for those of you that are obviously familiar with the system, you'll see that we have the dashboard that we've arrived into here, and we have some quick fire navigation points across the top. By clicking on assets, we can split out those particular assets within the system. Now, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a very simple process just to give you a flavour of this. What we're going to do is we're going to register an asset in the system. We're then going to issue out an inspection out through the mobile device. The operative in this particular demonstration is then going to complete that inspection and book a repair, and we're going to see how managing your assets is slightly different within the system and could be a benefit to you. So why do we do it in this way? Well, simply, we have a singular repository of all of the assets that we've registered in within the system. From there, we're able to manage out all of the work scheduling against it, both the ad hoc work scheduling and the cyclical PPM scheduling as well. We auto-notify directly out of here, and we auto-book in the repairs and inspections. So as I said, clients are using it in many different ways. One of the ways they're using it is to hold stock within the system, and another way is to manage tech. We ourselves also manage tech within our business in this way. So, what do I mean by tech? Well, tech can be anything from a mobile phone, a telephone, through to a laptop, a printer, and in fact, I suppose in our post-COVID world, this has become even more difficult to manage because we've actually got this technology at people's houses as they're working from home. So having a single central repository or registry of all of that is absolutely critical. So within the Boris system, what I've done is I've navigated into the asset menu and I've navigated into our tech asset area. You should know that all of the Boris pages are completely customizable. So the data that we're choosing to represent here in terms of the serial number, the description, purchase date, inspection date, expected lifespan, current location, etc. can all be representative of your data. And it can be any singular back of house screen that you want. And you'll see here that we've got a number of different tech assets put into the system. I will stress this is a demo system, this is dummy data. We couldn't show you any of our clients, or we couldn't even show you our own tech assets, so we've had to create some dummy data here. You'll also notice that we have our usual filterable options. We can set these filters to anything that you want. If you want to search by all the laptops in the business, that's absolutely fine. We also have the text search up in the corner as well. So when I'm looking at these particular technologies, what you'll see is if we click on one of them, we hold all of the data sat behind this particular device or piece of technology. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as I say, walk you through a very basic process to raise an asset, whatever that asset may be, book the inspection out with the operative, and then I'm going to complete the repairing against that. Now, there's multiple ways that we can raise an asset. We can raise an asset through the device, or we can raise it back of house. What I'm going to do is I'll explain our process here at Boris. Our process is if we order a new mobile phone, if we order a new laptop, that gets sent into head office. At head office, one of our administrators picks that up and initially registers it in the system. Then they get it out to the field-based operative, the operative that it's going out to, and they're asked to complete an inspection. So we're going to do it in exactly the same way. We're going to add the device from the back of house here. And you should see down in the bottom left-hand corner, we've got add device. This will bring me up on my screen a box that allows me to add certain bits of information. And again, this is completely customizable. You can capture whatever information you want within the system. Now I have a desk phone in front of me, so I'm actually going to raise this as a desk phone, or I'm going to raise a new asset of a desk phone. So, what I'm going to do, I believe we haven't got 226 in there. Now I'm not going to add an attachment at this moment in time. I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to ask the operative to take a picture and add that into the system. Again, I'm going to put a description to this just to keep it standard. We use the Link phone, so I'm just going to add that information in there as well. Expected lifespan will really support you as a business, because firstly what it will allow you to do by entering these fields is you can tell it how long that device should be alive for, how long its life expectancy is, and also how frequently you're going to inspect it over that period of time. In this particular scenario, we're going to say that it's, we'll say it's 5 years. We'll be reasonably generous. I don't know whether people's mobile phones last 5 years, but in this particular case we do. Sorry, desktop phone. Again, things like the mobile phone device data, that is somewhere that, or an extra field that we generally wouldn't fill in here. We're calling a desktop phone an IT device. I will ask the operative to fill these details in, so I'm going to leave them blank in this particular scenario. But what I am going to do is I'm going to book the required inspection, and I'm just going to add that in there. And that pretty much is as much, sorry, I've just realised where I've added that. Not quite got used to the touchscreen technology at this moment in time, but please bear with me. I'm just going to add a location in, and I'm going to say that this is going to be, I'm going to add Michelle's name in here, just because I know I've got a couple of devices set up for myself and Shatu, so I'm going to add this one in for Michelle. And it's as simple as that. So now what you should see, if we look through the central registry of all of our assets, you'll see down here at the bottom that we have now this desk phone, Link phone. We got the date it was set up, the life expectancy, and who it was for. Now we have an option here. We can either allocate the inspection out from here, or we can do it in the other way, which is we can actually book it into the planner. So if we head across over to the planner, I think I'd like to raise it from there just because I want to show you some of the features of it. So we haven't got a defaulted job in at the moment, so I'm just going to put a tech device inspection, and I'm going to drop this one into my name. Let's put it over here on today's date. By clicking on the planner, you should know that that brings you up this box. That allows me then to select my customer. Now, for this particular demo, we do have a tech asset demonstration customer in place, and I'm going to save that. Now, for those of you that have worked with the planner before, you'll probably notice that this is slightly different. We have a browny, maroony style colour there. That is a colour scheme that we've introduced into the into the planner here that just allows us to be able to have a top line view of what's in progress and what's been complete. So we'll come back to that and we'll have a look at that in a moment. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump across seamlessly over to my mobile device, and I'm going to log in. And hopefully once I get the confirmation from Michelle that you have now, we've now swapped over on our casting software across over onto the device. We're just waiting now for the confirmation. Okay, now I believe you can see that on your screen. I'm using TeamViewer to be able to cast this, so please bear with us. I have obviously the screen in my hand, my mobile device. I've also got it here on the screen as well on our new piece of technology. Now, I just ran a receive updates. We're pushing and pulling that through manually. And I'm going to go into scheduled work and I'm going to pick up this asset inspection. So you'll see there that booked in for today, I've got my tech asset inspection. I'm going to jump straight into it. Now, of course, we can pre-populate this information for you if you want, or it can be manually brought through. obviously by me there typing that desk device serial number in, or if it was pre-populated, it recalls the information that's already set within the system against that particular device. I'm going to tell it that it is an IT device. I am going to give it a name of Yearlink phone. The hardware, it's irrelevant in this particular scenario. So sorry, I'll just quickly fill these in very, very quickly. Memory's not applicable. I know it's also LAN connectivity, so we'll get that information in there just so we've got some information. Inspection was carried out on the 11th, which is today, and I'm going to take a photo of this at the moment, just so that we've got that in against the record. Remember, we can store anything within here, any amount of pictures. Now, typically, what would happen in our process is a piece of technology would come into the business, it would be registered by the admin team, it would be sent out into the field for the operative to complete this inspection, and very typically, because it's a brand new product, we're not going to be raising any repairs. That would come at a later stage. Now obviously we're a bit time sensitive today in terms of being able to get through a full demonstration for you. So in this particular scenario, I'm going to say that we do need to raise a repair. So I'm going to click yes, and you should have noticed that down at the bottom there, dynamically it brought up some separate questions for me. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say that the cord is damaged, needs replacing. And just to prove that and to provide further information for head office, I'm actually going to take another picture of the damaged cord and I'm going to attach that into the device as well. And I'm going to save that off and release it from the device. Okay, so that has now been released from the device, and what I'm going to do is seamlessly via my technology, I'm going to jump back across over to the demonstration screen, if you just bear with me 1 second. And again, I'm just going to give that a minute to pull through because my laptop does it immediately. This screen takes a couple of seconds, and I think YouTube's even further, maybe 10 seconds behind, so I'm just going to allow that to catch up before we do anything else. Thanks for your patience on this. It's always difficult when you're streaming. When you do arrive onto the planner, what you will notice is that I've still got that brown tech asset, and you'll be thinking to yourself, well actually that should have now refreshed itself and become blue. So I'm just going to put a manual refresh onto that, and I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to see now that the tech asset demonstration, the form that I've just completed as the operative, has now been received into the back in that live environment. Okay, so very quickly now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back across over to the asset. I keep wanting to go to my laptop. I've not quite got used to the touchscreen technology at the moment. So let's scroll down and have a look for this particular desk phone. Again, it takes a little longer to render the pictures on here. It renders extremely quickly over on the laptop. But anyway, you'll see here that I've got desk phone 226, and you'll see that it's the Michelle working from home in terms of the location. I've got the picture, and I've also got a damaged picture. You will see that the current status shows as inspection carried out, repair raised, asset inspection carried out on the 11th of March. So how does this benefit you as a business that's trying to manage your assets through? Well, in this particular scenario, we've maybe got 15 different assets here. You will probably be like us in that we have dozens and dozens of tech assets, hundreds and hundreds of stock assets within the business, and that's before we really get into any other type of asset across our business. All of this requires a level of management, and what this system and this approach will do is it will auto-schedule these pieces of work for you, and it will maintain your level of compliance against each of these assets, and I suppose eliminate human error. So, what do I mean by that? So, the repair's been raised, asset was inspected. What we now need to do is go and have a look over at the planner and see what it's done. Sorry, fat fingers. So I'm going to jump across over onto the planner. Touchscreen stops working. I'm just going to... There we go. That's working. Okay, so the first thing, hopefully, the more observant of you will have noticed, is that we've received over in the far left-hand corner an unallocated job. Now, the reason why it's unallocated is because I, as the operative, have completed the inspection. Obviously, bear in mind that was probably unlikely to be me because I also raised it in the back, but I've completed the inspection, and we now need someone to go out and complete that repair. Normally, in a normal environment, it wouldn't be me that was actually going out to inspect this, but we're going to make sure it's me within this particular scenario. Okay, so what we have the ability to be able to do now is assign this. So if, let's say for instance, Jane or Michelle doesn't work for the business in 6 months' time, this unallocated job here will still show up, and it means that you can retain compliance against that particular asset regardless of it being the same person. So I'm just going to schedule this. Now I'm logged in as myself, so I'm going to send it through to myself, and I'm going to set it as a date for today's date as well. And what we should notice now is that again we've got that brown maroony coloured style box there which tells us that we've got a current action in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump across over onto the device, and hopefully, if you just bear with me 1 second while I switch over to TeamViewer, you'll see that I'm just running a quick data transfer and update the system. So this is going to bring across that particular job into the system. Desperately just noticed that we're running out of battery, so I'm going to see if I can get some charge off the system. Do apologise, bear with me 1 second. Yeah. Sorry guys, slight little technical problem here, we've dropped the screen. Sorry guys, hopefully you can still hear us. We're just reconnecting. Plugging in to get some charge has cost me, it's removed our TeamViewer from the system. If just bear with us, we're just going to reboot it all back up again. Is it showing on the screen? Yeah. Sorry guys, Chateau's just typing in the reconnectivity password, so hopefully that's just going to come up in a moment. It's taken a little bit longer than we expected. Hopefully you all managed to get your coffee this morning. You can be sat with your cup of coffee at the moment. So we're just going to give this a couple of seconds just to make sure now that we do have the right screen up on the on YouTube. So Michelle, could you confirm that that's come through on YouTube, please? It's showing on our screen here. Just going to go back into OBS. Michelle, can you confirm whether that's come through now? Brilliant. Okay, sorry guys, really apologise for that. Slight little interlude, but we're now back on the screen again. We're going to jump into the scheduled work. Now, one thing I just wanted to show you, as I've gone round and I've spoken to some of our clients on account management calls, this is an area of the job bubble that hasn't actually been made aware to some of you. So I just wanted to talk you through it. It's a real bit benefit for me. So there we're looking at the job bubble for the tech asset repair. And some of you have a start of day process, a RAMS process that triggers in as soon as somebody clicks into the job bubble. And we've been asked a number of times, can we view the job before we open up that job bubble, so that if my operative wants to do any research, look at the job for the following day while he's at home, can he do that? Well, this particular arrow on the job bubble allows us to be able to insert that PDF document in here. And again, I can open that up and I can view that PDF within here, and I can see all the details about this repair from the... I'm going to stop opening things. I'm going to get... let's end optional data. There we go. We've got the job now that's open. Sorry, that was a new device. And you can see here that I can actually now view the job itself, and I can look at the code and I can see that information. That is before I enter the job bubble and before I commit to signing off the RAMS statement. So I'm just going to, again, very quickly ping the details in here. And I'm going to see that I've got the particular phone, it's recalled through the pictures. I'm going to mark this as complete. I'm aware that now we're running out of time, and I'm going to just show a quick picture of the completed work there in the device. And I'm going to save that, and I'm going to send that off. So I'm releasing that across over to the device. I'm now going to jump back across over onto our system. And I'm going to give that a moment just to pull through and for YouTube to update itself. You should see that over in the left-hand corner, unallocated job has gone green. I'm just going to refresh that just to make sure that the data's come through, and we'll see that it has. It's come through within the system. Let's just go back now and very briefly look at the tech asset and see. So actually now what's happened is within that setup, and hopefully I managed to walk you through that all okay, we've raised this within the central registry, we've carried out an inspection, and now it's auto-generated the repair and the booking for us and triggered off the notifications across the business to the various different stakeholders. So I appreciate we've flown through that very, very quickly. I just wanted to give you a real flavour of what the asset system could do for you, regardless of whether it's a ladder you're wanting to inspect, a seal or a fire door, or all the way through to a tech device phone. Chateau, just before we jump across over into yourself, Michelle, are there any questions that have come through on YouTube or our info@email?
Yeah, got a quick one here. Can we track and monitor assets on the site?
Yes, you can. So this will work in any way. It will monitor your assets based at the location that they're supposed to be at, or it will be out on site, and we have various different other solutions that will help with that. Everything from NFC tags and pins through to QR codes and barcode scanning as well. So if anyone's interested in managing assets either out on site, in head office, or anywhere in fact, pick up the phone to us this afternoon. We'll have a conversation about it and hopefully we'll give you the right information. Any other questions, Michelle?
Yeah. Does the asset module come at an extra cost?
It does, because it requires a storage element to it. You will put additional data into your server, so yes, it will come with additional cost. But again, talk to us about that. It's a very manageable, affordable storage cost solution, and it's based on the number of assets that you put in, so it's scalable. If we start off small and then we increase up, obviously we increase that.
Just one last one. Can any asset trigger any notification to anyone?
Yes. Okay, I thought I was going to get really difficult questions there from everybody, but yes. So anyone who's marked as a contact within the system, as the asset moves through its different statuses, the different stages of status, it will then update or trigger that notification out to the people that have been asked to be triggered out to. So some great questions there. I don't know who sent those in. I'll be looking up at those afterwards. But Chateau, sorry, I think that's 9:30. So sorry, 8:30. So that's straight across to yourself now. Let me take the stage, as it were.
Thank you very much, James. Thank you very much, everybody, for staying with us so far throughout the coffee morning. So, our next topic that we will be going to is our vehicle and operative tracking system. So the reason we'd like to go through this today is because we've been asked a lot of questions around, can I track and monitor where my vehicles are, what time they've arrived on site, you know, if we're getting speed tickets, are we able to track and monitor this through the tracking system on Boris? Yes, you are able to track and monitor your vehicles, however, not just your vehicles, you're now able to track and monitor your operatives. Where they are on site, you're able to set up geofences to know their exact locations and even get notifications. This is all from a traceability point of view to support if there's been any loan workers, any issues with, you know, site managers or main contractors where they've claimed that your operatives have not arrived on site, and further information into this. So what we'll be going to is we'll be sharing our screen with you where we'll be bringing up the tracking system. So on the tracking system, as you can see, you're able to monitor your map through the screen. So as we can see, we're zooming in and out of the different areas that we have, and we're going to slightly zoom into the Leeds area. So as we can see, while we've zoomed in back to the main screen, is you're able to see all your operatives and vehicle tracking that are tracked. So on the left hand side here, you can track and monitor how many vehicles you have on the system and how many operatives you have on the system as well. You're able to monitor this by setting up your different vehicles with their vehicle registrations or even their man and operatives that you have with their names, or for example user IDs or any IDs that you have against these operatives. So as we can see on the main plan, you've already got your green, red and amber lines. So what does this replicate? This basically replicates if there's been any traffic, or if there isn't any traffic. We've managed to put this into the tracking system for the reason that clients are coming back to us saying, well, can I see where my operative is stuck in traffic? The main contractor might have called you and said, your operatives have not arrived on site. We're able to monitor this through the screen, through the map, to see if they're stuck in traffic or if they're close to the area. How are you able to track and monitor the area? You're able to track and monitor the area by your geofences. So as you can see, we have a couple of geofences on the main screen. You have job 101 and job 1003. So near job 1001, as you can see, it says Satu and it's got a person icon on there. So how do we set these members up? So you simply go to add devices. So you navigate through the main screen to go into add a device. So if we scroll up on here, as you can see, you can put a name and identifier. So what the name is if it's a vehicle, you can put a vehicle registration in there. And if it's a person or an operative that you're wanting to track for loan work or productivity, you're able to put in the name. So if we bring the text box up, we're able to scroll up. I'm going to put James. And then the identifier. So what the identifier basically is a set of code that will be in your settings on your mobile phone if it's for the operative tracking, or it'll be a set of codes that will be on your vehicle tracking device that we will provide to you. If we then go into click extra, you're then able to associate this user to a group. So what I mean by a group is if you then, for example, have 3 teams. So in our place, for example, we've got Michelle, James and myself. If we each have a team of 10 operatives, we're able to set up the different teams and associate those operatives or vehicles to teams that they are working in. We then have our categories. The categories is where we are able to set up what device this is. So is it a person, is it a vehicle, or is it a van? So as we can see, we've clicked person and save. What that will then do, if we scroll back up onto the main screen, is on here, we should be able to see that we've now got a final member that we've added, which says James. So I've already gone in yesterday and added James in. I've re-added James in. I should have added Michelle in there. But as we can see, it says it's offline. The reason it says it's offline is because the GPS location has not been set up. Or, in yesterday's circumstances, is that James has gone in and turned off his GPS location. As we can see, on the top, we've got online at 0 minutes update. The system is able to update you every 5 seconds. However, the reason it says 0 minutes is because the vehicle is moving at the moment as we speak. However, as we can see scrolling down, we've got Shatu as my operative tracking and vehicle HX66, which says 44 minutes. That basically means that it's online, however, it's parked up and it's not moving, which is why the last update is 44 minutes ago. So, if we scroll further down, back onto the map, at any point you are able to click on your vehicles or your operatives, and you're able to see on the left-hand side where it says state, and on this you're able to view where they are at that exact location. So if we scroll down, as you can see, if we click show address, it will give us that exact location of where that operative is at the time. However, what we've been asked is we want further information on there. So what you can actually see is the speed that member is driving, if it's the vehicle, and where they are exactly at that time of monitoring. However, which you'll probably understand from quite a lot of offices, there's not going to be any team members who'll be sat there looking at this vehicle tracking system 24/7. So what we've added in for you is a report function. So on the report function, you're able to pick up the type of report that you wish to view. So we'll pick route, so you're able to navigate through this. We'll then go into configure. On the configure screen, you are able to view where that vehicle or where that operative has been. So you pick the device that you want, if it's associated to a group, and then you pick the period that you would like to view. So what we'll do is we'll go to this week and we'll go to tick and show. So what this will now give us, it will give us a detailed report digitally where it'll give you the device name, if it has been online, so your validation, the time it's been bringing your updates for you, the latitude, longitude, and even the speed. So the speed is a great part. Quite a lot of our existing clients will use this from a point of view of if a team member gets less ticketing systems, they'll be awarded, or if they're getting less driving tickets. Apologies about that. As you can see, finally, we've also got show address. On the show address tab, we are able to scroll down and able to click into that. However, just before I click into this show address, scrolling up, as you can see, it's managed to draw us a green line of exactly where the Boris IT car has been. So we can see at the moment the Boris IT car is parked up. As we can see, there's an arrow. This arrow is basically every time we click on show address, the arrow will move exactly to the location that we have been at that time. So if we click show address again, the arrow will get added on to move to exactly where it has been at that time. Okay, so that's from a digital view of the reports. However, we're also able to output out this report. So what's the advantage of outputting out this report? You may want to sit down with a team, an operative, and to be able to discuss a speeding ticket, productivity, any issues that probably have been raised. You're able to export this out into an export of an Excel document through the navigation tabs at the middle. As you can see, you've got configure, show, export, email, report, and clear. So as soon as I clicked export, it has created my Excel document for me. On this Excel document, you will be able to view what we viewed on the main screen, but into an Excel document. So on this Excel document, it gives you the route, the device, if it's been associated to any group, the period of time that we are viewing, and the detail that we went through on the back office. If you're sat down with a member and you would like to discuss their exact location, you're able to click on any time that you would like to view. So for example, 8:15, because they've drove 21.1, etc. You want to understand where they've been at that exact location. You can open that link up and that will automatically take you to OpenStreetMaps, and as we can see on there, it gives you their exact location with a markup of an arrow to view where that vehicle has been. What we're then able to do through the vehicle tracking system is we are able to go into different settings. So what I mean by different settings is if you are tracking and monitoring an operative, you don't want to be able to go into their privacy. So you're able to set up calendars where you'll only track and monitor them through a specific day that they're working and hours. So you're able to set up a calendar where you can say, they work Monday to Friday, 9-5, Before 9 and after 5, they will not be tracked and monitored, and you will not get any notifications, which is the next topic that I was going to go to. So notifications, you're able to set up notifications against your operatives or vehicle tracking. You can get 2 ways of notifications, one through the web portal and one through email. We will set this up for you initially with any email addresses that you wish for your notifications to go out to, and we'll get them added in for you. We also have the ability to set up your own groups. So once we've set up some groups, you're then able to go in there and add in your groups. So as you can see here, we've scrolled onto the groups. We have Hannah, Will, Shatu, James, Harney and Dan's group. So simply to add in a further group, all you would need to do is go to your plus sign. You would add the name in that you wish to add a new team or group. So we'll call it Michelle this time. And we're able to add in any extras if we wish and save. What that will do, it'll automatically save Michelle as a team, and then we're able to associate these operatives or the vehicles on the left hand side of exactly who we want to associate to a specific team by simply editing it, going back into the navigation of extra features and attaching it to a group that we wish to connect it to. The final thing I would like to go through is your geofences. So we get a lot of questions asked around how are we able to view our geofences, or how are we able to set up these geofences. So the advantage of the geofences is where you are able to track and monitor your notifications of your operatives entering and exiting these geofences. So if we go into settings, as we can see, we have a tab that says geofences. So when we go into the geofences, as we can see, we've already got a couple through. We've already set them up as job numbers. As we know, majority of the time within the construction industry, you will give your different locations a job number, so your different jobs. However, it's completely down to you, once you set up a new geofence, what name you would like to associate to that geofence. So if we scroll down and click into name, we can then go into, for example, Boris Office. And then click into the area. So once we've clicked into the area, as we can see, you have the map again, but zoomed in. You're able to then move around on this map to the exact location that you require, and you can also zoom in and out. So there's 3 different types of geofences that we can set up. Initially, we have our polygon, so you're able to drop dots and able to get an exact location of where you require. You're able to set up any shape that you wish. We can then set up a circle from your main map. So if we drop the pin and increasing the size of it, but also the question we get asked is, how am I able to track and monitor a certain building that I've sent my operatives to? You're then able to drag your polylines, which is your 3rd way, and able to draw around that exact building that you would wish to be notified for. Once you've set this up, this will then go onto your main map screen, where, as you can see, it says Boris Office. So if we zoom in, you're able to track and monitor your exact geofence that we have set up against the 2 buildings that we have said we want our operatives to go here. We are then able to, on the main screen, able to set up the accounts. So we will support you in setting up the accounts initially. However, we will train you how to add in your own accounts onto the system. If we click back from here and scroll back down to the bottom from the navigation tabs, as you can see, we exported it out, but we're also able to email reports. So in the background, my email is set up against this vehicle tracking system. This will automatically send me an email with the document similar to the Excel that we viewed, which gives us all the detailed information. So this is the vehicle tracking system. However, I'd like to go through a couple of questions that we have been asked in the past. So we get asked, the question is, can my operatives be able to change or turn on and off the man tracking or the operative tracking or the female tracking, as we'd like to say? So on the operative tracking, there's two ways you can download the app. So it will be completely separate from your Boris app. The two different apps is initially, your first one is an app where you're able to download onto the mobile phones and able to view and monitor from the app. So your operatives will be able to go in there, tether the app and turn it on and off. The second app that we have is where an app you're able to download. However, as soon as you have downloaded it onto the mobile phone, it will vanish into air. This is basically where members are not able to turn it on and off or able to do any changes to the app to be able to turn on and off your notifications on your system. You as a business are able to decide which option you would like. We have given you both options. You as a business will need to pick which one you would prefer. In regards to the vehicle tracking system, it will be a device that we will provide to you where you will have to connect to your vehicle dashboards, and after you've set up into your vehicles, we will be able to set up your training session to train and support you in how to use the man and operative and vehicle tracking system. If you are interested in further information on the vehicle and operative tracking system, please let us know and we'll happily go into a more depth and detailed demonstration. Well, we're just finishing off. Michelle, do we have any questions in regards to the vehicle tracking and the operative, please?
Yeah, is the vehicle and man tracking an extra cost?
Thank you, Michelle. Great question. The vehicle and man tracking is at an extra cost. In regards to the extra cost, the operative and the vehicle tracking cost is two different elements. It is at two different costs. We also will go through this in detail. If you are interested, please let us know how many vehicles you'd be interested in tracking or how many operative. We'll be able to provide the costs to you on the back of how many operatives or how many vehicles, because the price will change dependent on that. Any other questions, Michelle?
We do. A client would like to know if the tracking system is part of their current system or can they separate the two modules?
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Michelle. So that's a great question. I've actually been asked this quite a lot. So as we can see from the navigation tab at the top, there's two ways we can do this. We can either put it part of your Boris system. So as you can see, your navigation tabs across the top, it says tracking. We've added it into our current demonstration system. However, if you wish for us to separate this as a complete different module, a complete different link, yes, we can separate this for you. Thank you, Michelle.
And lastly, how long does it take to set up the module?
Great stuff, good question. So in regards to timescales and setting up, as I said, the operative and the vehicle tracking is slightly different. Yes, it's run on the same module. However, if you are interested in the operative tracking system, we are able to set this up in 2 weeks with you from the day you place an order with us and funds have come through. In regards to the vehicle tracking system, that one takes a little bit longer. We say 30 working days, and the reason for this being is because by the time we send the vehicle tracking devices to you, by the time you do the installations, we will then be able to train you and support you on how to get this set up correctly and train you on the back office portal. Any other questions, Michelle?
That's all we have. Thank you, Chantal.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you very much, everybody.
Sorry, we haven't quite got used to our stage entrance left or stage entrance right. No, it's really, really good. Thank you for that. Again, you know, guys, if you've got any questions around any of the topics today, please just come back to us and let us know. I think we've got 10 minutes left. So we want to now show you a different use of the asset system once again. Hopefully, though, it's going to tie into what Shatu was talking about there in terms of vehicle tracking, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit more management intelligence on that. So we'll show you that. If there are any more questions, this is an appeal to you over the last 10 minutes, please fire them into us. We will let you know at the end how we would like to take any feedback as well and recommendations for topics we can talk through next time. Anyway, Shatu, could you just hand me across over onto the fleet system? So, guys, first of all, what I want to do is I want to introduce you to a different part of our system, a different module that we've introduced within the system. Now, this module was born out of the requirement that our customers gave to us. So some of you that are on today's session, you will know that you gave us the ideas for this. And really this came out of wanting to use the asset system for as many different purposes around the business. And if we're managing tech assets, if we're managing your stock and your hire tools and tools, and we're managing the products that you put into buildings, whether they be fire doors, whether they be seals, whether it be a wall that's been built, regardless, it's irrelevant in terms of the asset. We've also been asked, can we manage our vehicles and our fleet as an asset as well? And the short answer is yes. And why wouldn't you? Because actually using the PPM and the cyclical maintenance, we can make sure that we never run the risk of missing an MOT, never run the risk of not completing a service, always ensuring that vehicle inspection reports are complete on a daily basis or weekly basis, whatever your requirement is, to manage those vehicles. Now, one of the things we wanted to do today was we thought, can we show you this in our standard system, or shall we share with you one of the new skins that we've been working on? And we felt it was about right to show you and share with you one of the new skins that we've been working on and the fleet system built within it. So this is actually being built for a client at the moment. We've had to run away and create a load of dummy data and import it into it, so we didn't share any data. But you will see here, just like the previous asset system that we were showing you, we have a big, long, singular registry of each of the vehicles that we have within our business. And we have the standard ability to be able to search via filters or text box searches. But actually what we've done is we've created more of a box view, just to really simplify that view for you. Instead of the navigation points across the top, we've now got them down the left. So there's some very, very subtle changes in here. But in principle, the way that the vehicle fleet management system works is it understands that you have a central asset, the vehicle, and that you have a number of forms that you complete associated with that vehicle. You also have bookings with that vehicle. You might have fuel cards associated to it. You may have driver details you want to associate to it, driver's licenses, etc., etc. So it's never just the one asset, it's everything that comes with that asset and being able to manage it. I know we're running short of time, so I'm very quickly just going to jump into one of these assets and just show you what I mean. So let's take DP16XYT. We know that it's a Vauxhall Vivaro, that current standard workhorse of a vehicle. It's done 78,000 miles, obviously it's dummy data. We've got an MOT due date, we know when it's taxed until, and we've got an ex-service date as well. We also know the history of where that vehicle was. So we can actually immediately go in and we can create MOT bookings, service bookings manually, or we can auto-trigger those within the system in order that you don't have to go around and manually prepare these things anymore. I'm just going to jump into this particular vehicle and show you what I mean by that singular asset with everything stored off that asset. So when we jump into DP16XYT, we can see some basic vehicle information about that, and again, this is all customizable. We hold whatever information we want to hold in here against it. We also have the MOT and service details, and what it's doing is it's using its PPM, its planned preventative maintenance, and its cyclical maintenance module to start to auto-schedule those next services and those next MOTs. We have the fuel card details over on the right hand side, really important these days that we keep a track of all the documentation that's in and out of the business. We also have the finance details. We have created those finance details. They are not real. I know they may look real, but unfortunately they're not. And again, we've got any booked MOTs or vehicle acceptance history in there as well. So we managed to retain everything against that singular asset. The benefit of doing it in this way is not only do we have that singular view of all the vehicles in our business, a little bit like the singular view of all the laptops, all of the ladders, all of the drills within our business, whatever business we're in, traffic cones, whatever it may be. But ultimately then what it allows us to do is allows us to pull in all the information relating to that particular vehicle and store it in one place. We then auto-trigger that work scheduling and notifications around the business, so that if this is my vehicle and I know that it needs servicing in September, but actually I leave the business, that will be scheduled in the same way as an unallocated job, ready to go out to the next person who's managing that vehicle or for someone within the admin team. So listen guys, I just wanted to give you a very, very brief taster of what the fleet management system looks like and how we can use the asset system again. Sorry, Shatu's changed cameras and I'm looking now. Where am I looking? I think I'm looking forwards now. So I just wanted to give you really quick visibility of what that looked like. Hopefully excite you a little bit with the new skin that we're working with. The fleet system's probably a few weeks away from being ready to roll out to clients, but again, there's no reason why you can't start talking to us today about it. We will be looking for key clients who would like to roll this out first within their systems and to help support us in that first rollout. So if you want to talk to us about fleet management, please do so. We'd love to hear from you. And in fact, if any topic from today.
Fabulous.
Shatu, do you want to start wrapping things up? I'm conscious we've got a few minutes left. We've got people ready to go and start their work days.
Fab, thank you very much, James. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. A final point that I would like to just clarify is we will send you a feedback form and we always will strive for your feedback. So please, please do fill in your feedback form as we look forward to discussing what you've put on that and be able to support you further on there. Hopefully, we'll soon come to you with our new next coffee morning, which will be in a similar layout, but hopefully moving forward we will get better at this the more we complete these coffee mornings.
The truth is though, Shatu, you're absolutely right in what you just said there. Guys, you get to choose how we shape these coffee mornings. If there's key topics that you want us to provide you with best practice, you want to hear more case studies of what other clients are doing with their systems, that's the purpose of this. It's about giving something back to you and making sure that you benefit from these sessions. So please complete that feedback form. Tell us what you want to see and we guarantee you that's what we'll deliver next time to you.
Fabulous. Thank you once again. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.